This is CTV News with Michelle Brunoro.
Their mountain rescue specialists over, and they've combined with our mountain rescue teams to be scouring the cliff bands.
The search for a missing hiker on Vancouver Island enters day 3. The effort's underway to find him also.
The memories that Canadians are sharing with us, it's really heart-touching, and we see that we really had an impact over our 55 years.
A farewell flight. The Canadian Snowbirds draw huge crowds in an emotional goodbye performance over southern Vancouver Island. Plus, Adam finds out what happened after an Esquimalt man captured something seemingly supernatural on his security camera later on the Sawatsky sign-off. Good evening and thanks for joining us. Search and rescue teams from up and down Vancouver Island and the Lower Mainland are rushing to Strathcona Park today to aid in the search for a missing hiker. The 25-year-old was on a hike Monday near Mount Washington and hasn't been seen since. As CTV's Andy Garland reports, after no signs of him yesterday, crews are focusing efforts on a steep cliffside and alerting trail users.
Day 3 for the search of a missing hiker in Strathcona Park intensifies as search and rescue crews from the mainland, including North Shore and Lions Bay, join in.
They have brought their mountain rescue specialists over, and they've combined with our mountain rescue teams to be scouring the cliff bands.
25-year-old Keshav Jindal from Courtenay went missing Monday when he intended to hike the summit of Mount Albert Edward with a partner.
After the initial climb out of Circuit Lake, KJ decided that he was going to wait.
Jindal hasn't been seen since. He did make a video call to a friend around 3:15 p.m. saying he could see a lake below him and was heading down to it.
We believe that he descended out of the alpine into the trees below, either to Moat Lake or Circuit Lake. And the cliff bands to the west of both these lakes are the focus of the search area today.
Both areas are in very steep terrain and very heavy vegetation. SAR believes that Jindal may have tried a shortcut down to the lake.
It would not be the first time that someone made this decision to descend to a lake and found themselves cliffed out. There is significant potential for fall in this area.
This is what he's wearing. He had a black jacket, black t-shirt.
The trail system is very popular with day and overnight hikers. Search and rescue members were informing hikers entering the park of Jindal's disappearance.
What he looks like and what to keep our eye out for and what he was wearing and where he might be.
Just that he was with his partner and they got separated.
Jindal had food and water with him, but was not prepared to spend the night, which is something SAR says hikers need to prepare for when venturing into the alpine.
In the event that you're delayed, the weather comes in, and having all those essentials that you should take with you.
Jindal's family is from India, and RCMP say they are concerned for his health and well-being. You are urged to contact police if you have any information about his whereabouts. Andy Garland, CTV News, Mount Washington.
It was the final flight for the Canadian Snowbirds over the skies of Vancouver Island for the foreseeable future. The aerial show brought thousands of spectators to Victoria's waterfront in what was an emotional night for some. CTV's Anna McMillan was in the crowd as the iconic squadron took to the air and the crowd bid farewell to the planes and their pilots.
The Snowbirds will be airborne and we will begin our show.
The Snowbirds Command Center sits in the middle of a crowd on Vancouver Island's coastline. It's the communication hub for the military's aerobatic team as they prepare to fly over Victoria.
We're trying to do our best really to get out to see as many Canadians as we can.
People flocked to Dallas Road on Tuesday to watch the Snowbirds' final performance on Vancouver Island for several years.
You have the big naval base here, but some communities we're going to Kapuskasing, Ontario, a really small town. They might not ever see the military.
Organizers say it's hard to tell how many people watch the show, but they estimate roughly 25,000 people line the waterfront.
We got here early to get good seats, and we cannot wait.
We're visiting from Ottawa, and we were looking at fun things to do, and this was one of them.
It's just really cool to see them.
For a dazzling 45 minutes, the Snowbirds soared over Greater Victoria.
It gets a little nerve-wracking at times, seeing them pull off really close calls.
They're upside down right now. You can barely hear me right now.
This is the final season for the Snowbirds as we know them. They'll be grounded until the early 2030s as the federal government procures new turboprop aircraft to replace their Tudor jets, which they've flown for 55 years.
That's the Canadian flag in the air, right? And that's what we're going to miss for quite a few years now. So it's a really nostalgic moment for all of us.
The sheer scale of that nostalgia was evident for those driving home after the show, with reports of commutes of just a few kilometers taking over an hour.
Just the outpouring of support and pride and the memories that Canadians are sharing with us. It's really heart-touching, and we see that we really had an impact over our 55 years.
The Snowbirds have a few more shows in BC, and their final performance is in California on October 11th. Anna McMillan, CTV News, Victoria.
The province has purchased a Vancouver Island generating station as it looks to add capacity to fulfill growing demand for electricity in the province. BC Hydro is purchasing the island generation facility in Campbell River to be called upon during periods of peak demand. The natural gas-fired facility has operated under an agreement with BC Hydro since 2002 and is typically used 15 days a year to add grid capacity when needed. Campbell River's mayor supports the move, saying it will spur future industrial investment in the region.
On the days where there's a shortage of electricity, they can ramp up the cogen plant, whether it's the coldest days of the year or the hottest days of the year. But it gives us the stability to know that if we attract some commercial investment or industrial investment, that there will be power here for them.
BC Hydro says load forecasts show BC will require additional capacity sooner than previously anticipated, driven by population growth, industrial development, and electrification. A recent independent study confirms what folks in the Harbour City already know, that the Port of Nanaimo is a massive economic driver. The study conducted by Deetkin Insights shows Nanaimo's port generated some $2.4 billion in economic output in 2025 alone. So what does that mean for the region? The study found the port supports more than 8,000 local jobs and contributes about $1.1 billion to the local economy. The Nanaimo Port Authority says it is currently advancing a major expansion at its Duke Point terminal to increase capacity. The City of Victoria is launching a pilot project to help small businesses get a fighting chance at survival. Applications are now open for Launch Victoria, a pilot program between the city and the Greater Victoria Chamber of Commerce. 5 entrepreneurs will be selected for the inaugural one-year cohort that is designed to help entrepreneurs build skills, make connections, and integrate into the business community. The city's mayor hopes the program will bring unique ideas to the business landscape in the community.
COVID certainly put a significant series of barriers in front of small business development. People still had fantastic ideas and lots of ambition, but that particular pause for a couple of years really made it much more difficult even than it usually is for somebody to get an idea into reality and off the ground.
Applications open September 9th, and the program begins in October. Anyone with a business idea or newly launched venture located in Victoria can apply on the city's website. If you'd like to fly drones around CFB Esquimalt, heads up, the Navy is asking everyone to double-check the restricted zones and your flight paths. CFB Esquimalt says unauthorized drones are causing some real safety and security concerns in the sky over the base. Adding unauthorized drones can actually disrupt naval operations. The base is reminding drone pilots that they are responsible for familiarizing themselves with the rules around restrictions before taking flight. D&D says drone flights over any Department of National Defence property are illegal and subject to federal prosecution under Canadian aviation law. The District of Oak Bay is asking property owners for access to their land as it tries to manage its deer population. The district, along with a wildlife management group, is administering immunocontractives to female deer through the fall months. Deer travel between private and public property, and the district says having access to backyards gives veterinarians more opportunities to safely vaccinate the deer. The program will also provide insight into the district's deer population in the community.
The program is really intended to be a humane way of managing the urban deer population in the District of Oak Bay. It's based on a research project that was undertaken over about 5 or 6 years. starting in 2018. And Council has approved operational funding now for this program for 2026. So we've got a veterinarian that will be starting later this fall.
Property owners willing to grant access to their property are encouraged to fill out a consent form on the district's website.
Hot and hazy today across parts of the island. Port Alberni up to 32 degrees. 26 in Victoria for the daytime high. And we did see some smoke increase in the area. We'll talk a little bit more about that right after the break.
Big win, bigger impact. Get your tickets for the Mega Summer 50-50, brought to you by 107.3 Virgin Radio, CFAX 1070, and CTV, in support of CFAX Santa's Anonymous all-new Kids Count program, supporting children beyond Christmas. Give back, and you could win big.
And Josh joins us now with a look at weather. You mentioned hot, hazy skies. It seems to be a theme.
Yeah, I think temperatures are going to stay in the mid-20s here in Victoria over the course of the next 2 or 3 days. The haze situation should improve a little bit tomorrow. We got into the low end of the moderate risk range today. We'll show you the air quality in a second. I think it improves and we get back to low risk for tomorrow. There's probably still some haze in the area, but not quite as bad as today. 31 in Port Alberni, we mentioned right before the break, 32 for a daytime high there. Nanaimo at 28 degrees, so close to 30 in Nanaimo, and 26 for the high in Victoria. It's 25 at the airport as of 4 p.m. You can see the worst of the air quality here in the dark browns, dark reds. But this was all pretty much blue across the island yesterday. If you zoom in, you can see there's still a lot of areas, especially as you move further north, up around Nanaimo. Air quality is not bad. You're in the low risk. But there are pockets here between Victoria and Duncan where we did get into the moderate risk range, somewhere in the 4 to 6 range for some of those reporting stations. I think we should be back to 2s and 3s for tomorrow, though. Aside from that haze, sky's pretty clear. You got a nice big upper ridge in play over the next couple of days, so that's going to keep skies clear, keep the heat in place for another day or two. The exception, again, is going to be the north, where you've got a chance of some morning drizzle for the next couple of days. There's that ridge. Look at the nice push of orange, warm air in the mid and upper levels driving its way to the north. That sticks with us through Thursday, kind of flattens out a little bit as we head into Friday, Saturday, but no real significant cooling. Just back a little closer to average. 18s and 19s for the north. And that's, again, consistently below average, which has been the case for the last little while now. Morning drizzle possibly tomorrow and Friday, and a little breezy tomorrow, gusts to about 40 kilometers per hour. Sunshine for inland areas was 32 in Port Alberni today. Be close to that again tomorrow, 31. 30 on Friday, and then as we hit the back end of the weekend, temperatures drop back into the low to mid 20s. Highs near 20 for the next 5 days out on the west coast. Could see some fog tomorrow morning, especially for coastal sections. Otherwise, mainly sunny skies Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Comox 27 and 26 with mainly sunny skies the next 2 days. Still sunny Saturday. Some cloud cover will start to increase there Sunday, Monday. Temperatures don't really cool that much. In Nanaimo, close to 30 tomorrow, but mid-20s for Friday and the weekend. Average high is 23. In Victoria, we'll get to about 25, maybe 26 again. It's probably going to feel more like the high 20s, close to 30. Little hazy, but as we mentioned off the top, not as bad as today. And then 23s and 24s for Friday, Saturday, through the weekend and into early next week. So slightly above average through the weekend, 3 or 4 degrees above average again for tomorrow. And the key thing there, mainly sunny skies, and the smoke should improve, but probably still a bit of haze, Michelle, over the next day or two.
Okay, well, good to hear that air quality is going to improve, though. All right, thanks for that, Josh. More than 300 homes have burned in our province as multiple wildfires spread destruction and misery. Thousands more properties have been evacuated as officials eye rising temperatures and lightning in the forecast. CTV's Andrew Johnson has the latest from Vancouver here, where wildfire smoke is leading to new air quality warnings.
The smoke is thickest behind me on Vancouver's North Shore and to the east into the Fraser Valley. There have been new air quality warnings issued today as much more surreal and dangerous scenes play out in the BC interior. Retired firefighter Jeff Moore was forced to watch from the water as his lakeside Okanagan cabin burned to the ground.
It was a nut show in there. There was bombs going off everywhere, people having a lot of propane, vehicles exploding, all sorts of things. It was just a crazy time.
After trying to first save the home, Moore made his escape in a boat. Watching the flames he spent his career fighting do their worst. The cabin is one of more than 200 homes believed to have been destroyed by the Bradley Creek fire near Vernon. Another belonged to Kevin Statham, who says he barely escaped a 12-meter wall of flame.
We lost everything. It's gone. It was my dad's house. It wasn't just mine. It's bad.
More than 100 buildings have also been destroyed, a couple of 100 kilometers to the northwest near Clinton. Around the province, more than 11,000 properties are either evacuated or on alert.
Never seen fuel dryness the way we are seeing it right now. And then when you put 85 to 100 kilometer winds on top of that, it is an explosive and extremely dangerous situation in BC.
Dangerous not only for people living in the affected communities. Yesterday, a helicopter being used to fight one of the more than 100 fires in the province crashed into a lake. Fortunately, the pilot survived and was sent to the hospital with minor injuries. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Vancouver.
Canadian journalist Lloyd Robertson, who covered everything from the fall of the Berlin Wall to the 9/11 terrorist attacks during 35 years as chief anchor of CTV National News, has died at 92. CTV's Geneviève Beauchemin reports.
So that's the kind of day it's been on this.
On the day he signed off for the last time, Lloyd Robertson joked he was about to be yesterday's news.
We made it, Harvey.
Reaction to his passing, though, has proven his legacy to be a front-page story.
I think people trusted him. I think he was a really special journalist.
I'm Lloyd Robertson. We'll see how the world came to Canada.
His authoritative voice was a landmark of the Canadian broadcast landscape for over 6 decades.
He was a true gentleman, a real newsman. He loved scoops.
The boy from Stratford, Ontario, who worked at the local radio station, eventually knocked on the CBC's door.
I was hired by the CBC. My voice got me through.
We interrupt this program. He said he fully understood his role in 1963 with the Kennedy assassination.
I felt that I was now involved in something that really mattered to people. Television news.
Good evening.
Robertson worked his way to the CBC's flagship news show, The National.
When I did my first news special as a reporter with Lloyd in 1970, he took a lot of time and trouble ensuring that I was comfortable in doing what I was doing.
Robertson is leaving the CBC after 22 years.
He signed on to CTV in 1976. Former Prime Minister Jean Chrétien said today that Robertson had a rare talent, explaining complicated events to Canadians.
Tonight, face-to-face with...
He retired from the evening news in 2011 and proved in 2018 that you can't take the news out of a news anchor.
And I was able to walk away from this.
That's him reporting live on his own car accident.
He had no ego. He was first class. Everyone loved being around him. And he just really made everyone feel special.
But Robertson often said the greatest honor of his life was to chronicle the times, the events that marked Canada and the world for so long.
And that's the kind of day it's been.
Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News.
And it was a privilege to have met him. All right, well, still to come, fairy footage. Adam meets an Esquimalt man who's seen all sorts of critters on his security camera, but this is the first time he's captured magic. The Sawatsky sign-off is next. Finally, Adam finds out what happened after an Esquimalt man captured something seemingly supernatural on his security camera on tonight's Best of Sawatsky sign-off.
Before he ever imagined seeing something magical, Steve Macbeth installed security cameras to be purely practical.
Able to see who's been wandering around your place. This cat visits pretty much every night. And
whenever the camera's triggered, Steve immediately gets a notification on his phone saying if it's a human or an animal.
All sorts of critters are constantly moving past it.
But there have been a couple times when the camera captured people.
The person that walked through the front yard had actually done some break-ins that same evening.
So when he got a similar notification the other night, Steve feared the worst.
And it said that it saw a person.
And what was the person doing?
Well, it wasn't a person.
And it wasn't one of the usual animals either.
It was unlike anything I've ever seen before.
It appeared in the left corner of the screen, a bright white dot that suddenly turned and flew straight at the camera.
Well, it looked kind of humanoid.
It looked, Steve thought, supernatural.
Like it was a shimmering silver color.
A fairy.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
While that magical moment was quickly replaced by a mundane explanation, it was still wonderful.
I just thought that other people would have a kick out of it as well.
So Steve took the time to post the fairy video on his local community page.
The very first one was a guy that said a rolled up newspaper would take care of that.
But after that, more than a couple people mentioned Tinkerbell. Hundreds expressed their gratitude, and tens of thousands watched the magic unfold.
Just stunned with the response to this.
But even better is seeing this video of one of his granddaughters, Isabel, watching the fairy footage for the first time, in awe.
Always remember the time their goofy old granddad got himself on TV because of the fly that flew by his security camera.
Or they will never forget that time their couldn't-be-more wonderful granddad made the effort to make his world, if just for a moment, feel like magic.
Oh, just to look for things that are unusual in life. You never know where something like that is going to pop up and be a bit of fun.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Esquimalt.
That's it for CTV News Vancouver Island. Thank you for joining us.